All right.
3, 2, 1.
WNBC. WNBC.
That's true.
Cheer up, lad. 'Tis to glory was here.
That's a weird callback. It's to a.
It's because that one dude, I forgot.
Is it a Simpsons thing?
No,
No,
it's from TNG. It's
Yeah.
just
Oh,
that
fuck. Right.
there's this one
Yeah,
dude
that's
who
it.
made a whole
That's
bunch of
all.
edits where he kept on reusing that singing part.
Oh,
I forgot the dude's name.
you mean the song he
Waylon
made?
Smithers?
No, it wasn't like remixes and it wasn't pogo. It was like it was nonsensical, like non sequitur edits.
Oh, okay. Well, actually, no, this is not a non sequitur, but actually, kind of is. I guess this is sort of a non sequitur transition because I just want to quickly
Talk about
Just
ExpressVPN?
just for myself, just loop back really quickly to Duet because
Oh my God.
I would-
Here we go.
no, well, I was genuinely curious what modern fan discourse is like over Duet. Duet is the episode we discussed last week from Deep Space Nine.
Duet.
Yeah, and I was like, do people have the same issues with Duet that we do? And then I looked it up, and it turns out they do. A lot of them. And it's actually deeply discussed. The difference, though, is that a lot of the discussions, modern day discussions of Duet, are done in the context of knowing the entire series at once, which we
Sure.
do not.
Oh,
So
so there's more.
yeah,
There's more to it.
This
That's
is
all-
not the
that's
last
all I'll
time
say,
of what's his
'cause-
name? Fucking hold on.
Maritza?
Hold on.
Oh.
His twin's name, Thomas.
Oh. Well, that's not what Duet was about. Duet was the war crimes episode.
Marvin.
Oh
Marvin,
shit! Sorry.
Yeah.
I need to talk.
Oh.
What is it, Ricardo?
I don't know what the fuck you guys are talking about.
Remember
Look,
the
I thought
war
Duet
crimes?
was the one with his twin. Is that not the one?
No, that's not the
Oh.
one. That was Second Chances.
What
Oh,
what is
right.
Duet?
Oops.
What is Duet?
Even though Second Chances and Duet could probably interchange their titles and
Yeah,
it would
Yeah,
be
they
Like
could
Duet?
actually. They
That's what I
actually could.
thought.
perfectly
So wait,
fine.
Duet is the
war crimes
oh
guy.
the war crime one. Yes.
Yeah.
The whole like Odo being like Nazi adjacent.
Well, that is why
Type
I wanted to look it up on Reddit because I was like, what do people think about Duet now? And it turns out it's a little mixed. Yeah, like some people are like, oh yeah, it's one of the greatest episodes of all time, and then other people are like, well, there is this. Did we think about this? And I think what happens is it seems like the writers didn't think about it until later. And then they were
Sure.
like,
I mean,
oh,
that's
right.
clear.
Yeah.
it feels
So,
like.
but then once they thought about it, they attempt to do something about it. So,
But what's interesting is what's a good thing is it gets us talking. I like
Talking about what?
anything
Talking
that
about what?
gets
I
people
don't know
talking.
what we're talking about.
We're talking
we're
about
talking about
Nazis.
war crimes and
We're talking
Duet.
about war crimes. We're talking about very serious issues. So
Here's the thing:
that
is
are that exist in a non-realistic world. So or
like
non-real.
we still have the same problems, so like it doesn't matter.
It
doesn't matter, dude. Doesn't fucking matter.
You're like, it doesn't matter. We don't need to talk about
Oh.
it. It's going to exist before, during, and after me.
Well,
Yeah,
dude,
dude.
this is
Wow.
worse
Podcast
now,
over.
if anything.
Yeah, dude. Let's not record
Let's pack it
anymore.
up.
Let's talk about real issues, dude. Let's talk about real
Let's talk about
issues, dude.
issues.
Don't say
Like-
ExpressVPN.
Yeah,
I
let's
thought,
talk
you were
about-
gonna say, let's talk about Payless shoes.
I mean, that's a real important issue.
We already talked about K-less shoes.
They're closing them down, and where are people going to get like shitty quality shoes at not cheap prices, especially
Well,
with tariffs? Imagine with the tariffs now, like there'd be the same price as Nikes.
I mean, people were gonna go to Temu and do it, but no, it's
No,
not, yeah.
I don't know if it's pronounced Temu.
Temu,
It's pronounced
Timu,
Temu.
Timu,
It's French, dude.
I
I
think
have no
it's
clue.
Timu.
Yeah,
Timu. Then why do they
Temu
spell it that
sounds
way?
like sounds like a killer whale in captivity or
We're in
something.
America. Speak English.
Wasn't there a killer whale named like a similar
you mean
Shamu.
you mean Shamu?
Shamu?
Yeah, that's very different.
so-
Yeah,
Oh, you're
dude.
talking about orcas?
yeah.
Oh, it's an orca.
talking about
yeah,
Keiko?
orca.
Keiko?
Like Timu and Shamu, I guess. I was confusing them.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, but one's
Is
a storm,
Shamu
one's
real?
a whale. You know the difference, though, right?
No,
A killer whale and an
oh
orca?
my god!
Yeah. Wait, no, they're
a
the same
killer
thing.
store. In a way, it's a killer store
One's got killer prices.
Well, one of them uses slave labor, so it's kind of the same
that's why,
thing.
That's why the killer the people
Both
die.
kill baby seals for fun.
Yeah. So,
Anyway, I'm not sure how we got here. I'm sorry.
Anyway, if you didn't know that, Temu does use slave labor. Look it up, everybody.
Temu.
I've never
Temu.
ordered anything from Temu or Temu.
And also, apologies to anyone who is only listening to the DS9 episodes, because we just did content for DS9 that's not part of
also
that line.
Apology if you work for Temu and you're listening to this. Sorry.
Apologies if you're one of those aforementioned slaves.
Yeah. Apologies.
We want to help.
Yeah. But we do love our low prices.
No, I don't want to lower anything from Temu.
But the prices are so low.
Yeah.
We watched Timescape this week. We're back to the next generation. And boy, they really love doing time episodes.
Yeah.
I kind of missed TNG when it popped on the screen. I was just like, oh, I feel at home now. Like, I don't know.
It's funny
like I've been having this tug of war with DS9.
You're flip-flopping a lot on this. Like,
I know, because about 6 episodes ago, you said, "Oh, I kind of missed Deep Space Nine." Oh, when I came back, it was so great.
And now we're back. I don't know. Maybe it's like this weird thing where like I just keep.
You just missed Star Trek.
Now, see, if you were just watching it as it aired, you would have gotten both every Sunday and Monday.
It's true. So
yeah.
Speaking of which,
you wouldn't have to wait.
Yeah, that's true.
Speaking of ExpressVPN, huh?
No.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, well, speaking of which,
wise, huh? No.
God damn it, Rick.
Sorry, dude.
Speaking of which, Timescape, directed by Adam Nimoy, he came back. After
what a real piece of shit this guy is, huh?
Son.
Is he? Oh, it's his son. Okay.
Yeah. Fucking talk about nepo babies, huh?
Yeah, for real.
Well,
him and Timothy Chalamet hand in hand, dude.
Yeah.
Why do you want to keep bringing up that guy? What's he done lately?
No, I'm kidding. He did the Bob Dylan thing. He did a good job, by the way. Props to him, dude.
It's fine.
Who even is he besides a face? Because that's how I know him. I only know him by his face, and that's it.
Yeah.
He could play if they made a movie about Mickey Mouse, but they like made it real life. He could play it. He could be like Mickey Mouse or Topo Gigio.
He's too
That's
skinny.
a deep cut. If you know who Topo Gigio is, shout out to those people.
But Adam Nimoy had directed Rascals earlier, and then he was like, "Man, that sucked. I don't like directing kids. Can I direct an episode with adults?" And they're like, "Sure, here's Timescape." So instead of giving him an episode with kids, they gave him an episode that had the most special effects of any episode they had ever had up to that point.
Really?
Yeah.
It is a lot of effects.
Almost
a ton.
Maybe like 50% of the shots are VFX shots. So it's a lot of work they had to do. But Timescape had first aired on June 14th of 1993, which is only the day after Duet. Two very different types of episodes aired right next to each other. One was about the horrors of essentially Nazi occupation and concentration camps and war crimes. The next one was a fun romp about being stuck in time, like Billy Pilgrim in Slaughterhouse 5.
You know what this movie reminded me of a little bit?
I mean, the Enterprise did explode. People were dying,
but it was fun
on screen.
It was in a fun way.
This wasn't fun.
This movie reminded me of a movie that Jonathan. Sorry, this episode. That Jonathan Frakes directed. A movie called Clockstoppers.
I know you mentioned Clockstoppers every episode now.
Yeah, well, Clockstoppers. Here's the thing about Clockstoppers. It's a pretty stupid movie, but also fun.
I mean, it's a kids movie. That's all.
Yeah. Michael Biehn is in it, and that's all you need to know.
I mean, Clockstoppers is like when people made fun of like, oh, stupid Robert Rodriguez made like Shark Boy and Lava Girl. It's like a stupid. Yeah, it's a kids movie.
Yeah, and
what do you fucking expect?
He also laughed his way to the bank. You know what I mean?
Yeah. He said like, I make kids movies because they make so much money and are so cheap to make. Why the fuck wouldn't I make kids movies?
And also like he makes any movie he wants after that.
And also because he independently financed it. It's all his money. It's just like, why wouldn't he fucking do that?
He doesn't pay the kids, so you know.
That's why he shoots in Texas. The labor laws say,
yeah.
You know,
that's why he's like I don't get involved in politics, but he's like that Greg Abbott.
Hey, the child labor laws are what they are. I don't say yes. I'll say no.
He's that wheelchaired bastard. I love him.
Just checking. Have they confirmed a sequel to Minecraft yet?
They have to.
Well,
by
yes.
now, right?
Did you see the movie?
No.
There's a post credit scene that basically confirms there's a sequel coming.
I mean, there's post-credit scenes in there's a post-credit scenes in Morbius. That doesn't mean they're going to make a sequel to Morbius. There's also a post-credit
scene in Street Fighter.
No, just wait.
Bison punches the screen. Yeah, he's still alive.
Yeah.
But Raul Julia is dead. So
and there's a post-credit scene in the not Skeletor movie, fucking He-Man movie. It's not like they made a sequel to He-Man.
Well, guess what? They're making another one now. This technically is a sequel.
It's called not a remake. What's it called? A relaunch? What do they fucking call it now? There's so many different types of movies now.
A soft reboot.
A reboot. It's a reboot. Yeah, not even a soft reboot.
It's a relaunch.
The soft reboot is like the new Karate Kid movie. That's a soft reboot where they're kind of like, it's in the same continuity, but
what makes it soft?
That it's essentially a completely different movie, but they have like Creed is like a soft reboot of Rocky because Creed is technically in the same timeline as Rocky.
It's a soft sequel.
Like Creed is just Rocky again.
Yeah,
but it's in the same technical.
Yeah, but dude, they recast them with a black guy. You know. A tale as old as time, dude.
Do you know why Terrence
the racists
Howard
get upset?
Do you know why Terrence Howard was recast by Don Cheadle in Iron Man?
Because he wasn't black enough.
No. Well, the guy who used to be in charge of Marvel Entertainment at the time told Kevin Feige, people won't know the difference. They're both black. And Terrence Howard wanted more money. So that's why they replaced him. To be fair, it turns out Terrence Howard
is a little weird.
Ended up a little weird.
Yeah.
So they actually dodged a bullet.
Allegedly.
What's up with him again? He did something weird, right?
He's just off the rails now. He says stuff like, "Did you know that 2 + 2 is actually 5?" Like literally, that's stuff like shit. Like,
he's
and he'll argue with
insane.
people about. Yeah, he's like, something's off now.
Yeah, I remember seeing that. Like, he's something's not right.
I think he tried to post some sort of unified astrophysics theory, like last year or something. And
I think he might have genuine, some sort of schizophrenia or something.
McGregor syndrome?
It's like the guy who
influenza.
Have you guys heard of?
He got the flu. Now he's acting a little wacky.
You guys ever heard of the Timecube website?
Yeah.
No.
Have you heard of Alien Christ website?
Yeah,
we can't mix until it's defeated.
Alien Christ is kind of the same thing. Yeah, there's Timecube. There's Alien Christ.
No,
I think Alien Christ is gone by this point. I don't know if it's
hopefully did.
Yeah.
I still believe in Space Pope.
Yeah, but it's all the same thing where people who get socially isolated develop schizophrenia and then
they think Macaulay Culkin is Christ. They call him Culkin Christ.
It's just they just go off their rocker.
Yeah.
And they need help.
Here's the thing, though.
That's the thing. That's what they really need is help.
You gotta let them just be, dude. We need people like that in the world.
Until they start threatening people, which is what happened.
Threatening's fine. I threaten people all the time. It doesn't mean I'm going to do anything. I just let them know I'm there.
It's just
you know what I mean?
Threat.
Yeah. But if you threaten someone while claiming you're Alien Christ, that's scarier.
That's a federal crime.
No, I don't think it's federal crime. I think you're fine.
Well, anyway,
allegedly,
since it was only yesterday in the timeline that Duet aired, there's no Around the Sun or Into the Wormhole this week. Instead, let's just go straight to our sponsors. The first of which, as Ricardo had alluded to ahead of schedule, House of Wise. You know what?
Sorry we spoiled you, everyone.
I know. Yeah. Sorry we spoiled the sponsors.
At the end, Sam Jackson's comes out and he's like, "I need you for the House of Wise initiative." That really got you guys.
And then Albert Einstein walks out from behind the taxi.
And now we're in phase 5, so there's 3 new House of Wises. So well, okay. One is led by a black House of Wise. One is led by the sister of House of Wise, and one is the young House of Wise. Yeah, there you go. That's the different House of Wise wizards.
I don't know enough about what's happening at Marvel to understand what you're doing here.
Yeah,
but there's 3 new Avengers groups now. Basically, one is Young Avengers.
I literally can't keep up.
Right, Young Avengers.
Yeah, there's Young Avengers. Or something. I don't know if it really is. It seems like it should be because they haven't done anything with it except apparently Ironheart is coming out soon.
When's West Coast Avengers?
See, that would be sick.
What about Alpha Flight?
I mean, they are.
They're not gonna touch Canada. They're gonna be like,
dude, that sucks, dude.
They almost squirrel-girled, and then they couldn't.
No, they backed out like cowards.
They're like, we can't pay them the same price.
The tariffs are too high to hire Alpha Flight.
No, I meant sorry, I was talking about the all-female Avengers that they tease at the end of Endgame.
That's not really like an all-female Avengers that they're teasing. They're just having a general girl power scene, I think.
Yeah, but they could have done it. They could have done it.
And Young Avengers is also essentially girl Avengers, girl power Avengers. They're all female, except for Wiccan. So they're all girls. So
yeah.
But you have that. Then you have
what about Hulkling or whatever?
I don't see that.
Yeah, you can't call them that anymore, dude. Not in this state, not in this political climate.
But then you have the kind of original Avengers with the new Captain America, and then you have like the knockoff fake Avengers with the Thunderbolts.
They're not fake, dude. They're real, dude. They're real people.
I know, but even in the course of the movie, they're only called that because it's a political ploy at the end. Like it's literally like a marketing trick.
Well, everything's a political ploy though at the end.
Yeah, that's true.
But one of the new Avengers is Gwen Stacy.
Yeah, it's possible. Anything can happen.
Why are we talking about this?
Because House of Wise is a fantastic.
You don't be jealous that we know a lot of female Avengers.
I'm so jealous.
House of Wise,
jealous and furious.
Wide range of CBD products and THCA products, which are neat. If you don't know about THCA, basically,
I like talking about this.
Yeah, the Avengers are always high, probably.
Yeah, probably. I mean,
definitely, the new Avengers are high.
With Tony Stark on the team, definitely.
Yeah.
Like that dude.
He's probably a pill popper, dude.
That dude was. I mean, there's a literal story arc in the comics called "Demon in the Bottle," which is about Tony Stark.
Everybody knows that he likes the booze, but. Maybe he likes the pills as well, I
mean, that's why would you drink without pills? That seems like a waste of time.
You can't just have downers.
It only makes it better.
Yeah, you gotta even out.
Yeah.
Basically THCA is the precursor to THC. So because they can't legally ship THC itself across borders, all they gotta do is ship THCA. And the moment you smoke it, it turns THC. So that's that. But also they have CBD products in general, which are like gummies and chocolates and candles and pre-rolls. And they have them for a wide variety of uses, including if you're having trouble sleeping, if you're feeling stressed out, if you need more energy for working out, or if you're, want some spice for your libido. They have that too. Yeah. Go check out all their products.
Go watch the Scorpion King and pop one of those pills.
Mm-hmm.
So you can head on over to houseofwise.co/newbie Star Trek. Check out all their products. If you see anything you like, put it in your cart. Use our promo code newbie Star Trek, all one word, and you can get 10% off your entire order. Just pretty neat. In this economy, get some money off. Also, you get free shipping on any order over $69. So again, head on over to houseofwise.co/newbie Star Trek and use our promo code newbie Star Trek when you check out for 10% off your entire order. Cool. Also, ExpressVPN. It's been a hot minute since we talked about ExpressVPN, but they're back with a vengeance. And you know what? They haven't changed at all. And that's a good thing because you want your VPN to be good old reliable, unchanging, kind of always steady, safe, doing what you want them to do. In this case, ExpressVPN, not only is it super fast like the name suggests, it's also super secure. In fact, we've had governments subpoenaing ExpressVPN for all sorts of things and they couldn't find anything.
Like, show us your PNIs.
Yeah, because ExpressVPN does not keep any activity logs, no connection logs. All that shit does not exist on their servers because their servers run on volatile memory, RAM. Basically, the moment the computer is turned off in 30 seconds, it all disappears because of physics.
Yeah, they're kind of like the movie Gone in 60 Seconds, but they're faster, Gone in 30 seconds.
I know. Mm-hmm. Yeah, fucking Nick Cage wishes.
Yeah.
If they kept making sequels, would they have kept having it? So Gone in 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Gone in 15 seconds.
Yeah.
15.
Yeah. And then the last one, Gone.
Gone Girl Gone.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there you go.
Dude, they were ahead of their time. Like, to be honest, like it's basically Fast and the Furious.
Oh yeah. It's Nick Cage's Fast and the Furious.
Yeah. They should have called it Nick Cage's Wild and Wonky Fast and the Furious.
I mean, you could do a crossover movie called Fast and the Furious Gone in 60 seconds. And
dude, turns out Don Toretto's cousin is gone.
Or an old-time rival. was Nick Cage.
Yeah.
You know, and then that could work. Nick Cage needs more money.
I recently watched that movie. It's a good movie.
But yeah, and you know, very versatile. It's got 3,000 plus servers in 160 locations spanning 105 countries. Works on pretty much every device you can think of. If you have a device, there's an app for it. It actually works with streaming services like Netflix and other stuff like that because they keep rotating their IPs so their blacklists can't keep up. And also, not just now, but right now,
just hot press, guys.
If you sign up for 2 years, not only will you get 4 months for free, additionally,
they literally, Mr. TW fucking ExpressVPN called us, and he's
that's
like,
too deep a cut. TW is too deep.
They're like, hey, Marvin, 2 years. This is the deal I'm going to give you guys listeners.
Yeah,
and we're like, who is this? And he's like, my name is Mr. TW ExpressVPN. And he's like, hey, for all your listeners, 2 years. They signed up for 2 years. We're going to give them 3 months for free.
No, 4 months for free.
Well, yeah, and then he said, no, scratch that, Marvin. 4 months. And that's how it went, you know.
Well, wow, TW, that's very generous.
Yeah, and it's not just that. You also get the entire Identity Defender suite for free as well.
Yeah,
and that includes.
You try to speak up, and then he said, Marvin, don't ever fucking interrupt me, dude. You piece of shit. This is what you get, dude. The credit tracker. Continue, dude.
God damn it. You were trying to continue this, and you're like, wait, I don't actually know. I don't have the sheet in front of me.
Stop commandeering and then letting go.
God.
You can't just keep grabbing the reins on a horse and letting go over and over again. That's make the horse scared.
He takes over and then he lets go, dude.
It comes with a password manager and advanced protection stuff, which is like, you know, ad blocker, tracker blocker, etc. It's got ID alerts that scans the dark web to make sure that your info wasn't leaked, and because all these fucking companies are taking your info and leaking them by accident.
Real perverts over here, dude.
Yeah, comes with ID theft insurance, which is really cool. A credit scanner, which is a lot like Credit Karma, if you've ever used that. Basically, it's
what if you have a twin though, Marvin?
For ID theft?
Yeah.
Well, then you can commit crimes. You can commit crimes together. That's what.
You can't be double jeopardy. You mean?
Yeah, double jeopardy. Yeah, twins are uncrimeable. Are unprosecutable. You know, that's why Sarah's committed so many crimes.
She could commit 2 crimes.
Yeah,
You've already got a monkey.
That's true.
I sure can.
Yeah.
You already have your double jeopardy clause escape.
Sarah has triple jeopardy.
Also, to be fair, hypothetically.
You got your monkey?
Hypothetically, I get my monkey with a gun and it goes and kills Sarah's twins. I don't even get charged for anything because it's triple jeopardy. Plus, it's done by a monkey. It's like a negative times a negative equals a positive, dude. You know?
But then,
like calculus.
But then she can kill both you and the monkey.
That's true.
And then the triple jeopardy covers both. She had 2 jeopardies left.
Yeah.
So that.
Yeah. I mean, the science is sound.
The law, you can't change the law.
Yeah.
That's just what the law says.
I never even got to calculus. But
But you watch Stand By Me.
I watch Stand By Me, so it feels like I do know calculus.
It's not Stand By Me. What's the movie fucking called?
It's Stand By Me.
No, Stand By Me is the...
Oh, no, you're right.
That's a Will Wheaton movie with the dead body.
He's got a dead body. God damn it,
Stand and Deliver, god damn it.
Yeah.
What if Will Wheaton was a cholo and Stand and Delivered?
Oh my God.
They made him. He was like, guys, I really don't want.
He's like, I don't think it's right.
I really don't think I should be doing this.
And he's like, no, you're perfect. Put this hairnet on your head, dude, and slick your hair back.
Yeah. Wear this oversized shirt. Yeah. Do that. Yeah. It also comes with a data removal service. It's like if you ever heard ads for Incogni or Delete Me. Basically, it comes with that, but for free on your VPN, ExpressVPN. So head on over to expressvpn.com/newbie Star Trek. And if you sign up for 2 years, you'll get all of that plus 4 months for free. And also, if you're not sure, ExpressVPN has a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you can try it out for a month. And if you're not sure, you can just send that VPN back from whence it came. So again, head on over to expressvpn.com/newbie Star Trek. And if you sign up for 2 years, not only will you get an additional 4 months for free, you'll also get the entire Identity Defender suites. All right.
Ricardo, could you please tell us what happened in this episode?
Yeah, I can. Strap in, people. This is the Clockstoppers episode 2.0.
I wonder if was Jonathan Frakes hired to do Clockstoppers as a script, or did he write Clockstoppers? Let me look that up. Actually,
I can tell you right now, he didn't write it, dude. He's not a good writer. Notoriously known as not a good writer.
How do you know he's not a good
Jonathan
writer?
Frakes,
What has he
if
written?
you're listening to us right now, we're so
Exactly.
sorry.
What has he written?
No, we don't apologize. You're a shitty writer, dude. It's true.
That's why he plays Commander William Riker, not Commander William Ryder.
Yeah.
So he's a shitty writer. Okay, got it.
Look at his credits. No fucking writing credits. Guess what? He's not a good writer. He knows it. He knows his strengths and he knows his weaknesses.
Wait, are you
He's a
telling me
man
he
of
didn't
principle.
write all those episodes of Beyond Belief?
Yeah.
He wrote every scenario.
Yeah.
It should have been him saying, I got you.
Yeah, I got you.
We got you.
It needs to be, I got you.
I know. We don't have an I.
Quickly
Yeah, 'cause
edit together a clip right now.
I
Yeah.
got you.
Wow.
Crazy.
That sounded pretty bad.
So the show starts and this is I don't know why this is in here. I don't know at all.
Yeah,
I don't
it
know
goes
why
nowhere.
This is all. It goes nowhere.
The cat
they,
thing?
they never come back to it. So it's just to show that
cut.
Data is not.
Well, actually, it shows that I fucking hate Will Riker for hating cats. Like,
Oh my god.
he's just like, I hate cats. I was like, you don't understand what the
Wait a
fuck
minute.
you're
So
talking about.
is this the episode that makes you turn permanently on Jonathan Frakes and Will Riker?
It's definitely a red flag for sure. Like, if someone says he's like, I was trying to feed Spot, and then he like went nuts on me. I'm like, well, the cat knows something about you that we don't know, so I trust the cat.
He knows he's not the. He knows he's not the.
And he said I hate cats.
Yeah,
which
here's
is
the
an automatic
truth.
red flag.
Here's the truth. Hating cats is not a red flag.
It's absolutely.
I'll tell you
red
why.
flag.
Because a lot of people are really allergic to them.
Okay,
Like, really
I'm
allergic
allergic to
them.
cats is different than I hate cats.
And having a
It's
bad
totally
experience.
different.
You had a bad experience at something, and you're always complaining about it. I can't remember it, but I'm gonna just generally say that.
You can say that about anybody.
I do it too, right?
Right.
Like,
But I
I'll
don't
have-
hate
I'll have-
something.
Here's the
because,
thing.
like,
one time, one lady
animal.
had 13 items in the 10 items or less line, and till this day, I'm vigilant of everybody, and everybody is committing a crime in my eyes because one person did it. And the same thing with this. So
oh
here's
my
the thing:
God.
if a person is allergic to cats, I get
That's
it.
allergic.
Here's the thing, though.
That's different than hate. You can be allergic to a cat and not hate it. I mean, that's different.
Here's the thing, especially if you were scratched as a kid, and like it's just a lot of things.
I was
But-
scratched as a
But
kid.
here's a red flag, though.
I was
Seriously,
I've been personally harmed by a cat, but I don't hate cats.
here's a
you know.
here's a real red flag. If you know a dog or a friend or somebody who owns a dog, and it's the friendliest dog, and it growls at one person only, that's a red flag. Like, especially if it's a dog that's known to just like, oh, it'll go up to anybody and let them pet them.
Okay, so
That's a
if
red
a
flag.
cat does that, it's
Cats do
not
that
a red
too, though.
flag.
Yeah,
but
cats do that to everybody,
a
though.
dog
Cats do
does
that to-
that.
they
It's
don't
a
do
red
that to
flag.
Do that to everybody. They're like, oh,
They don't do
this
that.
is good.
I think
Cats do that to
I think the
everyone.
case is every cat has done that to you. Therefore, something's up with you. That's
Well,
what
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
saying.
Sounds like
Yeah.
a personal problem.
Yeah.
I'm in hell. That's why.
Because I don't
That's the problem.
have a problem. I feel like animals, cats and dogs and animals in general know if they can like read you. Because I've had interactions with animals where they're like, whoa, usually this animal's crazy aggressive, but like your energy is, you're
That's where you
a little
lost
bit
me because I don't
more-
believe in that shit.
Well, I think it's more like I'm approaching whatever animal I
Vibe.
approach.
The general-
I approach
the
it out
general
of like
person's-
respect. I don't just like reach out, invade space. I let them come to me.
I'll tell you why I like
don't-
cats. I'll tell you why I
I'm not
like
trying to
cats, and then I'll
invade.
tell you. Okay, first of all, this is my rant about cats. This is why I like cats because they don't give a fuck about you deep down. They'll eat you, Sarah. They
my
don't give a
cats
fuck
love
about
me.
you. One,
My
two,
cats love me,
two
so, and your cats
is
love
that
you too.
You have,
What the fuck
you
are
have to
talking
earn.
about?
You have to earn their love, right? Like you have to really like. They have to really like you to like you. And like
That's the
like
thing.
Dogs,
I don't.
Dogs
I
will just
think-
love you unconditionally.
So
period.
okay, so I actually don't know if that's true. I think what it is because I've had lots of cats who warm up to me like instantly in like a matter of minutes.
Yeah,
I think
but
the
dogs
difference-
too. Like you have to warm
But-
up to a dog. Not
Well,
every like
no, but the
dog
thing
is
is,
like.
The difference
You know.
is a dog, we have literally bred
that
them
way.
for centuries, if not millennia, to be utterly loyal to us in a biological, psychological manner.
Yeah.
Like
Yes.
dogs literally do not know how to survive without a human. And that's why they're like, oh my God, human safety, cornerstone of my life. Whereas cats,
no, they're totally fine
historically,
but here's the thing. Here's what it boils down to. I think it's perfectly okay that Riker doesn't fucking like cats. I don't believe in energy or crystals or the Pledge of Allegiance. Here's the thing. So I don't know why they set this up, because it never comes back to fucking. It never comes back. I thought what they were going to do is when the timey-wimey stuff started to happen, I was like, oh, they're going to know because of the cut in his head. It's going to come back and go, I thought perfect. It never comes back. And second of all,
it's just one of those cold openings, I guess.
The scratches in his eye, that's a fucking puma, dude. That's not a fucking cat scratch, dude.
Yeah.
I wrestle with my cat. I wrestle with my cat all the time, and I have tiny scratches that look nothing like that. Like that was
that cat probably likes you. This is a cat that doesn't like Riker.
Yeah, but that's also like
pretty extreme.
Yeah, it's really deep. I don't know if a cat can scratch that deep.
No, it can't, dude.
Yeah.
It's a deep space cat.
Yeah. And then
also, but like, why can't he have like an automatic feed? Like, is he looking? This is the future? Like, couldn't something like look after the cat for him? Like,
I think there was an episode where he talked about it, where he says he likes to feed Spot directly because it's like a way of bonding with him. He's like, I don't know, maybe I'll learn about how to bond
we don't
more
do that.
if I feed him.
We don't do that currently.
Yeah, we have 3 very needy cats who will like wake us if we don't feed them at 3 a.m. So we have automated feeders to make sure that
who's boss there, dude. So here's the thing. So then we go into we figured out that Data's not there right away. And it turns out that Picard's not there either. Geordi's not there, and the captain's not there. And my thing is, they go to this it's basically like a science, and
it's yet another conference.
Yeah, another conference.
They've been to conferences,
which is crazy because they talk about so many things. They like so many like talks or like things they went to.
They went and saw a bunch of panels at a con.
Yeah,
essentially. Yeah.
And it's funny because like it feels like something Beverly should be at. And they're like, no, we're good. You don't need to come.
Beverly was like, last time I went to a conference, it led to a whole thing where I flew into the sun, so I don't want to do this again. So.
Yeah. Also, fair, I committed a war crime, and then like I ran. I didn't go.
One war crime. She committed like 20.
Well, yeah, but also like they literally subpoenaed her for a congressional hearing, basically. And she's like, no, I'm not gonna go. I'm gonna go into the sun better. And she never went. They never said she went.
And then they were like, oh, you went into the sun. We're gonna clear you. We're gonna exonerate you.
I like this scene a lot. I like this scene a lot. It's very like relatable. They start to like talk about the boring experience. No, I'm talking about this scene where they're talking about being at this con and being on the panels and how boring it was.
Sarah, you know what I hate about this thing? That they're making fun of people and their nationalities, dude.
Yeah, well,
I think they're just kind of doing a voice, but
I mean, Troy, she does this like weird. Is it like a Scottish thing? Like what accent?
Yeah, well, into Grant, that's definitely microaggressive.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
which is funny.
Look, they're blowing off steam in a private, safe setting. Okay, they're allowed to do that.
You need to be allowed to be dumb. You know, in safe places where you can be dumb.
Yeah,
it's called Marina. Let's get silly.
Also, how big is the shuttle that they have like a full dining room?
Yeah, no, I was gonna say the shuttle is like huge. This is like
because
it's a runabout.
Yeah, it's a runabout like the one
they invented and destroyed in one episode.
Well, it's like the ones they have in Deep Space Nine. Those like really not big ships, but they're bigger than shuttles.
How big?
So
big enough for a dining table.
Yeah, and the Enterprise has their own version of a runabout.
Where is it, dude? Where do they store it?
In the shuttle bay. Yeah.
It's just in the shuttle bay when it's needed.
Yeah. I mean, the Enterprise is huge. So, but also I like this. This is one of my favorite conversation scenes in the show, specifically because it's late in the series. So everyone is kind of like comfortable as actors are kind of all comfortable with each other. So their chemistry is pretty good. And I like that they're just having like a really run of the mill slice of life conversation about like, we're gonna make fun of this guy. Even like to see Picard making fun of someone for being so boring, is kind of weird because it's like
a bit of an odd choice to make him the guy who makes fun of a boring dude.
But I think that's fun. I think it's fun for him. Even he's cutting loose a bit as an actor too. Patrick Stewart is like, I'm going to make fun.
You know what I think is really funny? When Deanna's doing her impression, there's a part where she like does the exaggerated wink and it cuts to Data and he looks visibly like dismayed watching her do that.
Also like she's like, so this guy came up and told me like that he said he's like mating rituals.
He's very
and, like,
sensitive.
And that if I wanted to help him like do a study on mating rituals. And then
interspecies mating rituals.
And then Data's like, but so did you help him or what?
It's funny.
Data says like, I thought you had an interest in that. And that made me wonder, like, what does Data mean in regards to that? Is it about her own lineage as a half Betazoid? Is it about
her
relations with Riker as a human?
Can I give you guys my theory? I think that here's the thing about Data.
Mm-hmm.
He loves a thing that the Mexicans call chisme, which is gossip or rumors, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
And he's really good at eavesdropping. He's really good at that because he's a robot.
Robo ears.
Yes, got robo ears. Robo wants an Oreo.
Yeah. So
here's the thing. I feel like maybe Deanna has like in an innuendo way been talking to Beverly and talking about like, oh yeah, I've been studying some interspecies mating, blah blah. And he overheard that, and that was a thing that he's like, oh, I thought you were interested in that, you know?
I think my thought is that he's seen her fuck a bunch of random aliens. And
that too.
You know, and he's just like, it seems like it's something you like to do in his innocent way. And she's just like,
he's basically calling her a slut in a very
basically,
nice way.
in like a very polite way. And she's just like, yeah, I do like to fuck.
But also
other
maybe
weird
there's
people.
no slut shaming in the future, you know? Like you're like, hey, it's fine, dude.
I think it's more of like both Deanna and Riker clearly sleep around a lot in general. Like,
with different species too.
Yeah, all sorts of people who come in. So you know, I feel like this. She's just like, well, I just noticed you like to have sex.
Data's not wrong.
No, he's not wrong. He's not wrong. No, and he's not wrong for asking, and she's kind of not wrong for.
Well, I think for her, it's just
her
in the
context, choice, dude.
But I think it's just in the context of like, haha, this guy sexually harassed me. Yeah. And Data's like, well, why not?
He doesn't understand like conversationally what you should say or not say because he doesn't get it. Like, okay, we know she sleeps with other species, but we're not gonna like say it in that context, right? Like,
wait, I just had a thought.
It's her body, her abortion choice.
No, in regards to interspecies mating rituals, would this area of study or field be affected drastically by the discovery of that primordial jizz people?
So that's the thing. Everyone forgot that exists.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that to call out like why isn't the show doing, but I'm just saying like if they had discovered that, then it would have been massive. It would have been major.
Yeah, it would have been like all the different aliens were like, we need to all start fucking and seeing if this is true.
What happens.
Yeah. We gotta see.
I have a question about this. You know how like so clearly it's kind of been established in a weird way that like universal translators, right? Like we're hearing it in English, but maybe someone's talking in a weird language.
Right.
Sure.
So now here's my thought. Now hear me out. Don't judge me. You know?
Universal genital translator?
Yes, dude. So like imagine like I'm trying to fuck like an alien and it's got a big old fucking pussy. All right. To put it crudely, right?
Did I seriously get it right?
Yeah, 100%, dude. 100%. And my I have a human penis, dude, you know?
Yeah.
Like it's only so much length and girth I have, you know? I can't give it anymore, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Now, can I wear like a translator, like a pocket pussy, what have you? To be able to hook up.
It's called a wearable dildo.
Yeah,
that's what you.
But like it would be like a thing the ship would do. Like it would put it there.
Yeah, the replicator.
So for my my pleasure, and then her pleasure, the alien's pleasure.
Yeah, you just replicate a dildo.
Okay,
a wearable dildo.
Could it be called Dan? What is it called? The
or you could just use your arm.
The thing you made up right now is the word.
Would it be an extension of you?
The sexual.
Like, could it be
the universal?
Yeah, the universal genital translator.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
I like that idea.
Okay. I just wanted
Or
this to be
the
in
genital
the same page.
compatibility matrix.
Yeah. Oh, I like that, dude. Like you can fuck this creature, but not this creature.
But that's not.
But if you want to fuck this other creature, you can fuck it in the ass.
But
It's
that's
like Pokemon egg groups.
Oh,
But then you're not going au natural then though. You know, you're basically
mean?
wearing a larger condom. So I feel like you gotta
don't make
like,
the rules, Marvin. Okay.
So just you know what? Just be brave. Just use your arm to get in there, and then have.
But what if it's corrosive?
Yeah.
I mean, that's part of the thrill.
Things you do for love.
What if you're
Yeah.
fucking a xenomorph and it gets a little, you know?
I
So
mean,
excited
that's why else would you be fucking a xenomorph if it wasn't for that
That's
thrill?
true. That's
Honestly, I would not fuck around with other species in fear of like.
But what if they're really hot, Sarah? You're not even thinking about how hot they might be.
Well, I
Yeah.
would be afraid of like, I don't know. They've kind of addressed this a little bit, like diseases and things. I don't know.
I have a question for Sarah. Have you found any alien species on the show attractive?
Yeah.
Well, because they're aliens?
No, just anyone who is classified as an alien attract. Because I think for the three of us, me, Dan, and Ricardo, we could probably easily say, "Oh, Famke Johnson was very attractive.
Yeah, but
she was an
she's
alien."
she was barely
human.
an alien.
She's a
She just had some
humanoid.
spots.
Yeah,
That's
I
true.
mean, like,
But that counts.
But
that counts.
we don't know.
Romulans are.
Yeah, we don't
like,
know what downstairs looks like. Could be
And
totally different.
Kalar was also attractive, and she's
Yeah.
a half Klingon. So I mean,
That lady who was a werewolf inside.
that still counts
remember?
as a alien in my book.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Remember those squid aliens that were in those big old jars?
yeah.
Or we ate out of the jars?
Let me think.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if there's any that in particular
You
that
gotta
have
get out there
stuck
and chop it up, Sarah.
I think part of it might be because they haven't necessarily hired any male actors to play aliens because they're attractive. Whereas
They
they had
should.
done that
They should.
for the women
Well,
consistently.
Of course.
Yeah. So
They didn't think of hiring Charles Bronson.
yeah, why
you
didn't
know,
they hire
as a-
some really sexy male? Like why is Pierce Brosnan not an alien?
I'm sure there are some. Like if I think about it, I'm sure I can like think about some.
I mean, they once had that like Betazoid guy that, had the blue eyes that was like,
Oh, that guy sucked
overtly
ass,
handsome, but was
Yeah.
an asshole. But
Yeah.
I have a very important question, and I was going to pose it to the Discord server, but I'll do it here first, and then we'll do the Discord server.
Oh.
well, by asking it, they are being asked.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
Okay, say you become the captain of one of these ships, right? One of these explorer class ships, right? Huge ships.
Right.
Now, what is your like ideal? Like you're gonna they say you could pick any ship, and they have a bunch of names, right? Like the USS Cerritos, the Enterprise, everything. What name would you love something to be named after?
Oh.
You know, like what ship would you like? You're like, oh yeah, I want to join the ship because it has this name. Boom. What's the name of the ship? The
USS Carne Asada fries.
Oh
good.
damn!
Yeah.
That's
like
not
after
bad.
our favorite
That's
food.
pretty good one.
That'd be good. Yeah, and it's actually a fleet of ships. Like it's like
It's like food trucks.
it's like a Power Rangers and spaceship. It can split up so that it'll
Into
come
food
back
trucks?
together. Yeah.
Nice.
That's what it'll do.
I like that.
Yeah,
I like that.
and it's a food science research vehicle.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
I don't hate that, dude.
It's
I
actually
kinda
there.
like what they did. They did in DS9 the rivers. They did them after
Well,
like
that is neat. Yeah, that's a fun.
I'd
fun
probably
scheme.
go for like after animals of some kind, like
But
You
it was the
know.
runabouts that were named after rivers, though,
yeah,
right?
the runabouts.
yeah.
Yeah, but I like that idea. But I would probably do something animal related because, of course, I like animals a lot. So put me on the giraffe, the USS giraffe or whatever.
Giraffe.
A mobile library vessel called the USS Wishbone.
That's pretty good. That's pretty
I love
good.
that.
And it's done. It's a literary research vehicle. It travels to other
And it's
planets.
shaped like a Jack Russell.
Oh yes, I love that.
And it has
That's
the
really cute.
largest holodeck of any of the ships, so they can recreate the literary scenarios.
Yes.
I like that.
Or
I dig that.
villains like historical, like maybe not historical
Yeah.
villains because we don't want that in real life, but maybe like
Oh, that'd be
like
kinda sick.
fictional. No, I don't want to be like on
Like
Oh,
just
oh,
today,
real people that
just
are like
today I saw a
villains.
headline about like some 6th grader instructional course encouraging the kids to chat with like AI chatbots of historical wartime generals from World War II.
That's so weird. I don't like that at all.
I have gangrene in my leg.
Like, I'm from 6th grade. Can you tell me about the atrocities?
Yeah.
That's super
But President
weird.
Andrew Jackson, why did you commit all those genocides? I had to for America.
Yeah. You have to.
Yeah.
And carne asada. Mine would be like the USS like Tim Apple or something like that. You know what I mean? Like
Why?
I don't know.
Why
Tim Apple.
Why
the USS Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Why do you love Apple so much?
I don't know. Maybe
This
'cause
is
it's-
something that I'm convinced is a bit.
Yeah, maybe.
That is a bit.
I think he's crazy enough to be real about
Maybe
it.
maybe it's the Jean-Claude Van Damme ship. I don't know. You know,
Yeah.
named
Okay,
after the great
that works.
actor.
The JCVD.
the USS
JCVD.
JCVD.
yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be cool, dude. Imagine.
I like that.
Yeah, or the USS Muscles from Brussels.
One little inside thing I liked is of course in the Matrix all of the hover ships are named things too. One
Yeah.
of them is named the Mjolnir, but a lot of the characters don't know how to say Mjolnir, so they all call it the Hammer, which I thought
Nice.
it was a fun little inside thing that they do with each other. It's one of the few good bits of fun world building writing they have in the Matrix sequels.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so immediately, they're all talking to each other, and I can't believe we're still in the first 10 minutes of the episode. they basically, in an hour into this fucking recording, they basically are all talking, and Geordi, Data, and Picard freeze while they're talking to her to Deanna, and then they unfreeze a little time later, and she starts freaking out and tells them about it and stuff, and they're like, whoa, and they're like, and then at one point, this is what I hated, that she's like, I don't know, it's hard to describe, and I'm like, this happens all the time. Just say it looked exactly like when you pause a scene in the holodeck. It looked exactly like that. What can she say? That?
I
She's
guess
like,
so. Yeah,
she's like, I don't
guess
know
you
how to
could've-
describe it. It's like someone like paused you.
Well, she's
all.
flustered. Okay.
Yeah, and
She's
it's like
just
this happens
flustered
sometimes.
lady.
They're like stop simulation, and everything pauses. And
Right.
I'm like, we've seen this a million times. That in fact, for the split sec, for those like 10 seconds that they're frozen, I thought she was still at the convention and she was in some sort of holodeck, like a new holodeck.
Oh,
No, she's not
that's like
Riker.
I thought this was going to be a holodeck episode.
another.
No, they only do that to Riker.
I know, but I thought since they were talking about since they were talking about like this science fair thing, I thought, oh, she probably went to to look at some new holodecks, or maybe Picard did, or sent her to see these, and she's in a simulation and it's gone awry again. Even the new models are broken. They're always broken.
Yeah.
And that's what I thought, because it looked exactly like the holodeck, but turns out it wasn't. So that's why I hate it. That's really what pissed me off about this episode. Other than that, it's weird and stuff, but I like the timey-wimey stuff and the detective work. But so it continues. They're trying to experiment what it is. And my favorite part of this fucking episode is when they're like, okay, let me go investigate, because they find out that there's like pockets of like time displacement, right? That they're going through.
Right.
Yeah, like little bubbles or something.
It's like the Harlem Globetrotters episode of Futurama.
Yeah. And so Picard goes and he's like checking things out, and he notices that the fruit and vegetables on the table now, they're all
like
rotten,
that.
right?
Yeah.
And
Go to reach down and touch them.
Yeah, and he's gonna he reaches down and touches them, and his hand gets all old, and no one points it out. Like, holy shit, look at your fingernails, dude. They're so long, dude. You look like that dude from fucking Big Trouble in Little China, dude. No
but
one
then like
says
his
that.
hand is like back to normal, I think.
It's
Like, they
weird
didn't
how
really
it just goes
keep up-
back to normal.
They didn't really
Yeah.
keep up with that old hand.
Basically,
like I thought
someone,
once
like, scanned
once it happens, it's
Someone
done.
scanned it with one of those like medical thingies, and it just fixed it.
The tricorder thing?
You just went.
Well, it seemed like the scanning thing was just tracking that it was already just going back to normal on its own.
Yeah,
It was, like, fixing
but
it.
no one like Jordy didn't walk in and goes, "What the fuck? You have a vampire hand, dude." No one said anything like
Yeah,
that.
it was really
Yeah,
creepy and weird.
this
weird hand.
This episode seems to suggest that like the timeline is kind of self-correcting in a way.
Sort of. Yeah. To some-
Because as soon as the explosion to the runabout happens at the very end, spoilers, but like time space has returned to normal. They just say that.
well, maybe it's because it broke the continuity loop. Because the transfer didn't happen, the explosions of time bubbles didn't spread, and because the time bubbles didn't spread, they never found the Enterprise that way. Therefore, it's okay now.
Episodes like this
Whatever.
are best left unpoked with.
Yeah, you can't drill too deep down in.
Just fill the plot hole filler.
Yeah.
Yes, the writer says the.
But also, like, don't you feel like the stakes for this episode are really high because
There are no
like,
stakes in this episode at all. There's no.
well,
there's no meat.
it feels like if they
Just
don't
vegetables.
get it right, like the whole Enterprise explodes and everything.
Yeah.
It's like
Or
everyone's
this,
dead.
Or this pocket reality dies, and then we go to the other.
I guess I was like, oh, okay. Like seeing the Enterprise explode like that and everyone essentially die at some point.
I don't buy the Romulan story about shooting Bev at all.
Oh,
Yeah,
He's clearly shooting Bev.
Yeah. It wasn't. There was no room for another person to be in between them.
Right.
Like, he was shooting her point blank.
I think the idea was supposed to be Beverly actually was like, no, don't shoot her, and like jumped in the way. I
Marvin,
think that was
you're wrong. You're wrong because behind her is the console. There's no room.
Yeah, there's nowhere for
another
there's
alien
someone
dude.
to be
I thought it was a
saved.
table. I thought that behind her was one of the tables.
No.
Marvin.
Okay.
It doesn't like
This
the story
guy-
doesn't
this
check
guy-
out. Yeah.
This guy knows she's a war crime. Fucking.
Well, then that means Beverly's actually conspiring with the Romulans to cover up the fact that they tried to shoot her.
I don't doubt it, dude. I don't doubt it, dude. I don't doubt it.
She's been a Romulan deep agent this whole time.
Yeah, and they have to kill her. She doesn't reveal anything.
Yeah,
So
they're
anyway-
like, you were about to blurt out a Romulan word that you shouldn't know.
Here's the thing. This episode is confusing as shit, dude, for somebody
It
who's
is.
high, dude. Just confusing as hell, dude. But it's fun, and they make the confusion kind of fun, and like when they go past, so eventually they go right to the Enterprise,
Mm-hmm.
and everyone's frozen. And they're like, oh, Geordi's like, I'm gonna make these things that go on your sleeve, and they're gonna keep you, and like you'll be able to move, but everybody else is frozen, right?
Mhm.
And he's like, but it's got to be really thin. In my head, he was gonna go, Deanna, you got to take off your clothes. It's got to be really thin to the skin.
Well, the thing is,
Picard, take off your clothes.
if everyone had to take off everyone had to be naked. But I thought, okay, you can tell this is like a lovingly written late series episode because there's so many callbacks to things that they
Yeah.
enjoyed. Like the
Mhm.
armband is from the Times Arrow episodes where they're like, okay, we need to use these armbands in order to exist in time, space, or whatever. And
Right.
then when Deanna is like freaking out, she's
When she had to go rom face and go undercover.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so that too. So
True, that's true.
yeah. So they reference the fact that she had to go rom face, and that's why she knows so much about the way Romulan ships work. But
Mhm.
then they also, when she's talking to Picard, and she's going like, "Oh, I don't know what's wrong with me," she starts tapping behind her ear, and that's a technique she taught Barclay to do when Barclay was
I
having a
didn't even
nervous
really
break.
noticed that.
Yeah, when Barclay was having a nervous breakdown, she's like, "This is a old Betazoid technique to calm yourself down," and then she started doing it to herself. I was like, "Oh my god!" I don't know if that was a direction. In fact, while Ricardo's continuing, I'm going to look up the script and see if it's written in. But if not, that's a brilliant piece of improv by Marina Sirtis because she remembered. That'd be really cool if she remembered. But let me see if it's in the
now that
script.
you've brought up all this like callback stuff, it helps justify the presence of Spot in the script.
Yeah, I think it's like a cold open that's just supposed to kind of just be like, and then
You think
thing.
this is really like a bottle episode that they're like, we could spend this a little bit, you know?
Well, it's definitely not a cost saver.
It's definitely not a bottle
no,
episode
no.
either. They're on multiple different ships and they're spending tons of money. I think this is
Maybe it started that way, and they're like, well, we have all these ideas to bring back stuff, and then they're like, well,
well, apparently, as Brandon Braga was writing the script, he was like, "I know this is going to be a really expensive episode,
Yeah.
but if we can do," and then apparently it was like a last minute episode insertion, and they're like, "Whatever, let's just shoot it," because they don't explain which episode, but another script they had to be canned at the last minute. So they're like, we need another script right away. And apparently this is actually like taking someone's idea that someone had pitched to the show. Someone had pitched an idea to the show about the Enterprise discovers two
probably the guy
ships
who
that are
wrote Clockstoppers, dude.
well, the Enterprise discovers two ships that are frozen in time, and then it's a mystery to figure out what happened. And that's kind of what they do in this episode. It's a neat idea. Like they kind of go in and they kind of like look at clues to figure out what's going. It's like the first
it's fun
good
because
mystery.
everyone's frozen and you get to see how
two people,
little
except two
everyone's
people.
moving.
Yeah, and it's like the first time they've had like a good mystery episode almost.
They should
where
have
it's kinda
showed something
like,
fun though. They go into somebody's room and somebody's like cranking it. You know?
yeah, but then
Oh my God.
But apparently, Brandon Braga was like, well, that's not as interesting if one of them isn't the Enterprise, so that should be frozen. So when they had to rewrite or write a brand new script, he basically took that idea and was like, okay, I'm gonna just write this really quick.
So
That's how they ended up with this.
that's basically the plot. So like we have an investigation of these two ships that are shooting each other,
Mhm.
Romulan ship and the Enterprise, and two people are unfrozen and everybody else is frozen.
One on the
and the other-
Romulan ship, one on the
Yeah,
Enterprise.
they have to go and investigate what's happening and why are all these things happening? Why are all these pockets of time fissures happening? And they eventually figure it out. And then I like how they keep leaving bodies everywhere. Well, Data recovers, but like at one point, the one of the alien people, they touch Geordi, and he kind of like he goes haywire and is like, "Ugh," and he's dying, and they just leave him there. They're like, take off his thing and just
Yeah, they
freeze
take
him.
off the bracelet to freeze
Yeah.
him in time, and then they leave him there. And I'm looking through the episode right now to see if he comes back. I don't think he does.
Picard says at one point, yeah, you're right. But at one point, Picard says, "Oh, he's gonna Geordi's like in the other ship, and make sure you get him and stuff."
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay,
He says
okay.
he says
At
beam him
least
directly to
say
sick bay. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they was smart of them to freeze him. They're like, oh, just freeze him. We'll figure out what to do
That's a good
later.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
We don't have
essentially
time
the
right now to deal with
cryogenic
this.
frozen thing, but
Yeah.
way more
Yeah.
effective.
I think that's what happened at Disney. Someone shot him, Walt Disney, and they're like, "Oh, just freeze him, dude. We'll figure it out later." Dude.
Just put him in the buffet freezer, and we'll see.
Yeah, yeah. Just freeze his head. It's fine.
I was hoping they would
decapitate
have more of the freakouts, like Picard freaking out and then like joking,
Yeah.
and then like I was hoping there would be at least one more of that happening.
He had the Joker syndrome where he
It's
couldn't
weird
stop
that
laughing.
Deanna was the first to feel like the weird bracelet effects immediately as soon as they activated it, but then
Yeah.
that didn't like continue on. It was Picard.
Yeah,
that went nuts.
I thought that was going to be a plot point. I thought it was going to
Yeah.
be like, oh, it cut off my empathic ability or something.
yeah, something
Therefore,
like that.
I can't. That's why you
Yeah.
made me dizzy. Or
Yeah,
but I guess
there
it
are
was
little
just
bits and bobs like that in this episode.
yeah. There's a lot of weird little details where it's kind of just
But
like,
I do.
huh,
I think
okay.
I think they're fun and they're cool that they did that at least.
yeah.
Because or else it would have been boring if it was just straightforward. Like I like that they kept having obstacles to solve the problem. You know.
I mean,
Right.
really, the problem is these aliens were like basically little space birdies looking for a nest.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
When
question
I
for you
figured
guys.
that out. Yeah.
Did you interpret these like extra dimensional or these like timeline beings as possessing existing Romulans to inhabit this timeline, or did they?
I don't know. Do you think two people,
Because they
two
phase out of
Romulans just died?
existence.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think they killed two
I
Romulans.
think that they
Yeah.
actually possessed existing Romulans, and,
Yeah.
and they're
Oh,
now
me
like
too.
no longer.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
I
my
mean, they did it for
opinion
their
about
kids.
it.
They did it for their kids.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
whatever.
if they by preventing the explosion from happening in the first place, they may
Right.
not have died again anymore.
Perhaps.
You know?
Perhaps.
Yeah.
So
They're intact somewhere.
also, by the way, I looked at the script and the scene where Troy taps her neck. It is not written in the script. So
Oh.
she did improv it. So
Well, good for
job,
that.
Marina Sirtis.
But here's the thing: you don't know if it's improv. It could have been the director or the writer who was on set and said, "Do this,
Would Adam Nimoy have remembered that? I don't know,
dude." It could have been the
Adam
script supervisor.
Nimoy is
To
the
be honest-
biggest TNG fan.
To be honest, like the script
There's a lot of
supervisor,
people it could have been.
the script supervisor keeps continuity, and she might have seen this a million times. So she'd be like, "Oh, remember that thing you did with like the thing back then?"
Or maybe
I
it's something
think-
she does naturally, and they wrote that into her character
Maybe.
as a Betazoid
that could be
thing.
it too. Yeah, maybe
Yeah.
they noticed Marina Sirtis tends to tap her neck when she's stressed out, and then they're like, "Oh, you're
And then she goes,
Betazoid."
"Hooah!"
Mhm.
Okay, so then they slowly start figuring out what's going on, and two Romulans fucking die, dude. Straight up, dude.
Yeah,
It's very Star Trek though for the outcome or conclusion or reveal to be like, we're just an alien life form trying to protect our young man.
that's happened.
It's
a
We're just
lot.
trying to live.
It's another version of Solar Babies.
Yeah, essentially.
There's a lot
I mean,
of
they're
babies.
just looking
yeah.
for a nest. I
They're-
guess they usually nest in a black hole, and then
Yes.
Yeah.
they thought
But
this was
they
a black
found
hole,
a
but
So
it
you're
really
saying,
wasn't.
Sarah, what you're
They
saying
had
is
one.
that these are time traveling solar babies trying to
Yeah.
hatch.
Exactly.
Nice.
And they nested in the wrong location.
Yeah, in the
They
wrong
got it
solar
wrong.
baby
And then they
Yeah.
were like, fuck this, we got to save our babies. And then
by going
that
somewhere
meant-
solar.
that meant
Yeah.
crazy
I agree with you.
times.
So then they figure it out. Jordy's alive at the end. I think. I hope so. And then then there's this last scene at the end where like Data's making fucking tea, and then Riker comes in all scared of the fucking cat. What kind of cat is it? Is this a puma? Why is he so scared of a little cat?
It's
Dude?
just a little ginger cat.
Yeah,
It's just a little ginger cat. That's all.
It's a very 90s attitude toward pets.
yeah.
Also,
Yeah, it feels like a
Spot
90s
is
TV thing.
Spot is so cute. Like he did not look ferocious at all the times we've seen him.
Remember, this is the
or
same
her.
series
Appear in
where
the episode.
no, yeah,
No,
And
there
remember-
was no. We didn't even see. They didn't pay to have a ginger
Well,
cat on set. That
Yeah, well, the truth is
For this
they got to pay the
episode.
cat and the handler, and they
Yeah.
already got all these effects, dude. They can't afford all that shit, dude.
Did they?
And the
Did
cat
they
can only
do-
work so many hours a day, and then he has to do tutoring.
Yeah,
Did they have Humane Society like rules back then for pets
Yes.
on set?
yeah, of course.
Well, I don't know when that started. Like when did that
I
begin?
think so. I would think so.
Well,
that's
When
it's
did
a
we
modern
start
thing.
caring
It's not-
about animals? Safety?
if anybody's watched the Wild Thing, the Wild Bunch, a lot of fucking horses died in that movie. A lot of
I
fucking
mean,
horses.
they used to to make Mr. Ed talk. They would just fill his mouth with peanut butter, and that would be bad for him. So I mean, that's
But he
all
loved
sorts of. Apparently, Humane Society monitoring began in 1940. Wow.
Yeah.
So even with that, they were still
They
doing
probably
all
did a
sorts
worse
of
job
Yeah.
back then, though.
Yeah.
well, here's
That's
the thing.
Yeah.
Here's
Yeah.
the thing. The Humane Society is not. It wasn't made for film. It's just a different
yeah,
thing. And
yeah.
eventually, so what you have to look up is the year that film started incorporating the
No. That's what I
animals
looked
were-
up. They
yeah.
started looking into being included on film sets on 1940. I guess it's just a matter of how well they were integrated.
Yeah, I mean they don't do it well to this
how
day.
did they
so.
formed in 1954? How are they in the 40s?
That's just what I've read from this article. So let me.
What article?
look
Who wrote it, dude?
Let me look it up. Okay.
Fox News? Can't believe that shit, dude.
So okay, this is actually now I'm going to Wikipedia. So let's see here. In 1940, it became the sole monitoring body for the humane treatment of animals on the sets of unionized Hollywood films and other broadcast productions, a role it maintains through an agreement with the Screen Actors Guild. Actually, the Humane Society began in 1877, dude. So
Whoa.
that makes sense why they would. It's 147 years old. So
Oh, good on
that's
them.
what. Yeah,
They're
so
like,
that's what.
they're like, we're okay with slavery, but
Apparently.
you treat these fucking animals right, okay?
They have like prisoners and chains on set, and
Yeah.
they're like, I can't comment on that, but
Yeah. You're like, I don't want to get involved in politics, okay? But I just know that these fucking cats. God damn it, dude.
oh, okay,
boy.
okay. there's a isolated line in the Wikipedia article that says the organization also promotes child welfare. I thought for a moment it said the organization also promotes child labor.
Yeah. We need child labor.
Yeah.
How else are you gonna afford to live?
Well, that's interesting that they also
Yeah.
Okay, all right,
Yeah.
all right.
So anyway, so at the end, the Data's making tea and he's talking about like the passage of time and stuff.
Yeah.
And Riker's like, I don't care what the fuck you do, just don't be late to your shift.
It's
Yeah.
basically a long
He's such a
joke about
jerk.
Data not understanding
Yeah,
sayings.
It is weird. It is weird that in your youth, time seems to go by really fucking slow, right?
Mm.
It feels like that's universal, right? Like that
Yeah,
you're like,
generally
oh
speaking.
wow, yeah, right. And then you get to a certain age and you're like, oh fuck, dude, I can't catch up, dude. It's already like
There's-
it's
there's
already
a-
June.
There's actually a good theory that explains that. It's that
Yeah.
when you're younger, a year is a much smaller percentage of your life. So you're 5 years old, a year is only a fifth of your life. When
Mhm.
you're 35 years old, a year is 1/35th of your life. So your body perceives
Yeah.
time. It turns out many things in the mind is perceived logarithmically. And it's probably makes sense that the perception of time is also perceived logarithmically.
That's why you gotta
So-
smoke a lot of weed because everything slows down.
Yeah,
and
you
also
go back-
throughout your childhood, you live through a very regimented, year by year, things around you are changing each year, by design in school. Like you have
Your
a different
body
class.
is changing.
You have a
Yeah.
different
You're
school.
trying,
You
you're
have a
discovering your body.
Mhm.
different teacher, different classmates, et cetera, et cetera.
Now my body is changing for the worse.
Yeah.
You
yeah.
know.
But also,
not
I guess
happy about it.
Yeah.
the changes you go through as a child is faster than anything as an adult. So like, so it's that too. So
Right.
Almost
A lot
like
about being an
overnight
adult
for
stays the
something.
same across years, whereas being a child is not the same.
once you're like 30, you're pretty much that your whole life until you're an old man or an old person.
Yeah.
I don't know about that. Yeah.
Truth.
It's
Truth be told, this was
definitely
fun. There's
crazy.
a lot of holes in this fucking story, dude. A lot of holes, like a lot of solar
but
baby
it's
holes.
but it's a time story,
Yes.
so holes
So
are like
here's the thing.
whatever. Yeah.
This is Swiss cheese, but I'm willing to look past it
Mhm.
and give it a 7.5.
Oh, that's much
Okay.
lower than I thought you would give it. Okay, interesting.
That's high for me, dude.
oh.
That's pretty high for Ricardo. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was gonna say. In my
Well,
opinion.
I'm actually gonna give it a 9.
Really?
Yeah,
So
I
almost
really.
perfect.
Really?
Almost perfect.
Yeah, I
Interesting.
actually think this is a very, very good episode. I think the character work is really strong. I really love the conversation because it's like all the characters are kind of shining in the way they do. I like that clearly the
So
crew
high,
has the crew has been through enough bullshit together that they all instantly jump into action and go, okay, something's wrong. They don't question Deanna and go, are you sure you're not just like tired or like whatever?
Yeah.
They immediately just start scanning here and it's like something went wrong.
But what's funny
Like,
is Deanna
right.
herself is like, well, it has been exhausting.
I know, she's trying to blow it off
like,
herself.
She's trying to
Yeah.
do it. And
I know, but the rest of the crew is like, no, we've been through enough shit to know.
That's what I like
So-
about it, because finally somebody, because if this was the beginning of the early season, they'd be like, it's fine, don't worry about it, dude.
Yeah.
and then a crystal baby shows up and fucking fucks everything up, you know.
Yeah, but now like everyone knows to spring into action.
Now they were close to being like, let's shoot her, dude, just in case she's taken over by an alien or a Borg.
Yeah.
Just shoot her.
And then it's just a fun mystery. Like Star Trek in general tends to not do mystery that well. And this episode, it was fun. It did it in a fun way because the
What are
explanation.
you talking about? You didn't like the Mark Twain episodes? What are you talking about?
wait,
dude?
was there mystery to that though?
The mystery was how did Mark Twain's pocket watch end up in the fucking
I'll say my
cave.
pocket
Well,
watch.
I guess kind of.
sort of, yeah. But that was
I mean, I just feel like the way they write these episodes, it's like you didn't know. There's no way we could have guessed that there was going to be these space
That's
eagle
true,
aliens
yeah.
looking for a nest, and then they put like their babies in this like energy core that fucked everything up, and then like like we're not going to predict that. It's ridiculous,
Like it's not like we're gonna figure it out. It's a ride that we're taking. With them.
Yeah.
It's not a whodunit.
and it's super
Yeah.
fun. No,
It's not a whodunit.
because you're not going to
Yeah.
be able to figure it
Yeah.
out.
It's like a mystery box, but the mystery you get at the end
Yeah.
isn't like really stupid. It's just more of like okay, that's what it was. And then I think the only thing that prevents it from being perfect is that it doesn't really mean anything. It's just like a fun episode. It's done really well.
Well, you get to see the Romulans and the Enterprise interact in a way that's not usual.
Yeah,
guess
we're starting to see more and more
You know?
signs of Romulans and Federation being like, "You
Like
wanna help?
some
You wanna
pieces
help
of it
out?"
remind me of that episode where like there were some Romulans that were they were out of phase and they couldn't touch the ship, but
The next phase, yeah.
right.
But it has some of the same parallels because there's also a fake out moment where someone was frozen.
Yes,
And then
that's
they
what made me
unfreeze-
think about
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
basically.
Yeah.
But seeing the Romulans in this episode after having seen Cardassian so recently, it kind of like made me realize how fuddy-duddy they look.
Yeah. Well, because they're
They
based
always
on,
looked a little like fuddy-duddy
Yeah.
and kind of retro, but like it is stark now that we
Yeah.
are like comparing them to Cardassians. Like
It's because they were only like one step away from the original TOS designs.
Yeah, basically.
and what they were wearing. So
Yeah, it feels that way for sure. I'm gonna give this episode. I'll give it an 8. It was fun.
yeah.
I'm going to go with Ricardo and give it a 7.5. And the last thing I'll say is that props to the extras who had to hold still.
Yeah.
Oh, It was clearly tough, but then also we're watching in this like high definition.
True.
I think in its original format, it would have been difficult to see everyone moving, but it was
you get away with more stuff, right?
interesting.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It was interesting to like watch it now and be like, you can see people moving,
like
clearly.
breathing a little. It's hard. It's really hard. Yeah.
It's
And sometimes
really hard.
they
but,
try to like make
you
it true by putting a plate on people and then like
Yeah.
and then like but
And sometimes they just have like a still from like a shot that they actually shot, and it's very obvious. And it's like, oh man, that's a little cheap looking.
And then I liked having like the backwards, like everyone's like,
all the backwards walking
backwards. And then I'm like, oh, are they going to start speaking backwards like Missy Elliott type thing? And like, no. Yeah. It's like, no,
yep, that's what it sounds like.
Yep. That's exactly what Missy Elliott sounds like. Yeah.
That's what Missy Elliott sounds like. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
It's a silly episode. There's a lot of silly things going on. And also like, remember
when people were like, remember when people were like, oh, these
can we play
rock
us
bands
backwards?
These rock bands are putting fucking subliminal messages, and like,
no.
The band that I was actually doing it, no one like called them out. Like,
no one cared.
The fucking Led Zeppelin.
That was a whole like
actual devil
90s
worshippers
thing.
Fucking good old fashioned rock and roll.
Yeah, I mean, if time was actually frozen, you wouldn't be able to see anything or breathe,
like
or
Clockstoppers,
or do all this shit. But whatever.
You can't look into it, Marvin.
Yeah, but that's fine. That's why I'm like all the time travel things that don't make sense. It's fine. The episode's not about that.
It's fine.
So
it's fine.
They would have just come up with another bullshit. Well, it's because you see this is happening with this, and then there for this. It's like whatever. It's fine. They wore electric condoms in order to walk through the spaceship because otherwise to not let the time touch them. It's fine. But that was Timescape, everyone.
I'm just gonna assume Geordi died, even though they beamed him to sick bay. His fate is uncertain.
Yeah, like in the back, in the intercom in the background, in one of the conversation scenes, you hear Geordi didn't make it over the intercom.
It whispers it over the intercom to the entire.
We're just gonna bring him back on safe mode.
Yeah, we'll just put him in the transporter so we can bring him back.
Put his dead body in the transporter.
Yeah.
We'll reanimate him.
Yeah. It's quite the whiplash from Duet, but here we are. We're in Timescape. And that was Timescape, everybody. Hope you guys enjoyed our rollicking discussion of it. If you liked it, you can always, give us a like or a rating or comment wherever you're listening on YouTube or Apple Podcasts or Podcast Addict or Spotify or wherever. Don't matter. Do it or don't. It's up to you. And hey, you can give us a bad rating too if you want to. That's totally fine. We love to see those.
If you think that we are always jumping from topic to topic and just being really boring, then you can rate it that way.
And also, check out our merch.
We're stupid Zoomers who don't know what we're talking about. Right.
It is funny how many people are like, look at these fucking Zoomers having this stupid podcast.
To be fair, we are saying we're newbie Star Trek in our in an advanced age. Most newbies would be on the younger side, I would venture to guess.
Well, I'll just go out and tell you, none of us are Zoomers, okay? Hate to break it to you all.
We're all old. We're all old and afraid of losing our health insurance.
We're just people that apparently missed the memo about Star Trek.
Yeah, we are the generation that learned the legends of Social Security.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And are hoping we'll be able to actually reap our Social Security.
No,
we're not.
No,
it's not going to happen.
What a legend!
I'm not hoping.
But in the event that you do get your Social Security check, consider spending it at fugitiveframes.store.
Yes, please.
You can get
the whole thing.
Yeah,
spend it all in one place.
Get a bunch of t-shirts, a bunch of hoodies. Just check it out. Take a bunch of stuff there. Also, or if you can spare $1.99 a month, you can join our Patreon or YouTube membership. Either of those.
Now you're just asking too much.
Gets you early access to new episodes.
People are on a fixed income, Marvin.
It's true. Actually, to be completely honest, this is all obviously, you don't have to do any of this shit. It's just if you do want early access to new episodes and you want to go into our private Discord and all that stuff, and have all the automated ads and stuff removed, you can join either our Patreon or YouTube membership for $1.99 a month. They're both essentially the same. Only difference is that the Patreon is audio only and the YouTube membership is video podcast. So depends on which you prefer. That's all. So you can head on over to patreon.com/newbie Star Trek, or just look in our podcast description or video description wherever you are. You'll have links to both the Patreon and the YouTube membership. And hopefully by now, because Apple lost the court case, if you're on the YouTube app, you could just click join now on an iPhone. if Apple's cool with it now. So there you go.
If you listen to this in the future, maybe they appealed it and won.
Oh, the judge specifically said she will not grant a stay. She was actually really angry at Apple.
She's like, I'm so angry. I'm not even going to eat my apple that I brought for lunch. So angry.
Apparently, the judge, the lawyers were doing their typical trying every trick in the book thing to slow the process down, and the judge was like, "You know what? I'm sick of this."
Judges should be empowered to throw physical books as part of their justice.
I feel like in England they probably do, given how like their parliament works and how they're willing to like fight.
or hell, like not just books, gavels too, like a hammer brother.
They have a box of gavels underneath their bench, and they can just throw them whatever. But also, if you guys ever want to send us an email, you can email us at contact@newbiestartrek.com. That's contact@newbiestartrek.com. We have an extremely short. This is the shortest email we've ever had. It's basically to call me out. So
okay,
it's just, let's hear it. It's just titled "Mushroom Sandwiches, Not a Thing." Love Riz sent from the United Kingdom.
I love that, dude.
Get the fuck out of here.
Listen,
stupid
also,
idiot.
I didn't say mushroom. I said mushroom toast, and I know
mushroom toast is a thing.
Toast.
What do you think a mushroom sandwich is, dude? But mushroom toast.
Mushroom toast is just two. Mushroom sandwich is just two mushroom toasts put together.
Way,
that's all.
Either way, Martin, you're wrong, dude.
It's improper.
Yeah. Go back to your mushroom kingdom, dude. Get the fuck out of here.
I wish I could escape to the mushroom kingdom.
Stealing fucking people's mushrooms after
all of your
had a bad
verbal
trip,
abuses towards me about my sandwich habits.
You learned your lesson about helping yourself, Marvin.
I hope you get deported to Salvadorian mushroom kingdom.
You probably doomed me by saying that. I probably am getting sent.
Oh my god.
But you will love it because it's a mushroom kingdom. But they're in pupusas. The mushroom pupusas.
That's fine.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, mushrooms are do you not like mushrooms, Ricardo?
I like mushrooms in tomka soup.
Okay. And you and your fucking tomka soup.
You'll love tomka.
You'll bring up you'll be like, I remember at work you would just be sitting there and you'd be like, you know, I could go for something. You'll go for right now some tomka soup. And I'm like, dude, it's 5 p.m. Like,
that's a good time for soup. Why not?
My sister's like,
what's wrong with eating tomka soup at 5 p.m.?
We just had lunch like 2 hours ago.
This might be a Mexican thing, but every time it's hot out, like every Mexican mom would be like, "We should make a stew."
Oh yeah, no, that's
fucking combo.
Yeah, that's common in Korean culture too. You know?
Yeah, so. It's nothing goes better on a hot day than tomka soup, dude.
Wait. So you eat stews when it's hot?
Yeah.
Do you eat cold things when it's cold?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what Koreans do too.
Ice cream when it's cold, it's fucking good, dude.
Okay, Koreans do that too. Koreans used to have this.
I think a lot of cultures have this kind of belief, you know.
Well, there's like a Korean superstition that if you eat cold stuff on a hot day, you'll get sick. And vice versa.
That's also a Mexican superstition.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. That's interesting.
But they're all dumb for believing it. Just you know, it's really dumb to believe that.
What are Koreans if not Mexicans of the East, you know?
In many ways, things line up.
Yeah. Do you also
are Koreans hated by the people above you, north? People of the north?
Well, I mean, literally, North Koreans.
Yeah, that's true. That's not true. Yeah.
But Korea was known as like the kicking dummy or whatever, the whipping boy of Asia.
Kicking dummy,
whatever the term, the whipping dummy of Asia, because they were invaded by
kicking dummy. Now,
like, Korea's been invaded so many times by so many different countries that it's like kind of like they're just kind of like it's happening again, you know, like historically, like Korea. This is the longest period of time in history that Korea's not been invaded.
But now they're on the verge of like population collapse.
Yeah, well, that's fine. That's okay. We don't need more people. We need to artificially lower the amount of Koreans so that our value per Korean rises, you know, like Bitcoin, you know?
Oh, right. Like Jet Li in that movie.
Yeah. Yeah. The Korean.
Korean. You know, Jet Li.
The one Korean. Yeah. All right. Thanks, everybody. That was it. That was actually the email. Just to blow my ass out about the mushrooms.
Beautiful.
If you guys like what we do, you can head on over to fugitiveframes.com. We got links to all the other things we do, including the Would You Stay Tuned podcast. So you can check that out. And yeah, that's what we're gonna do next time. We're actually going to next time we're actually
getting up
going
to season finales.
Yeah, we're popping into the season finale of Deep Space Nine.
Yep, the first season will be done.
Yeah, and it's a
I feel like that went by really fast.
Well, it was only 20 episodes. Yeah, it was
only 20.
Well, compared to
nowadays, it's like 5 episodes a season. You know?
well, compared to the standard,
then you wait 3 years.
Compared to the standard Star Trek season of 26 episodes. I mean, so yeah,
right.
but it's a very lofty title, In the Hands of the Prophets. So,
oh God,
it's very.
Here we go.
Very lofty. So yeah.
All right, we're getting back into that stuff.
Yep.
I better hear about Akai.
You might be actually kind of satisfied.
Good. Just saying.
But yeah, that'll be next time. We're going back to Deep Space Nine, In the Hands of the Prophets. All right, we'll see you guys next time. Goodbye, everybody.
Take care, y'all.
Goodbye.
Bye.